All right, hello, my name is Justin Scott here with another Lowell Ledger podcast, and today we have two of Lowell Wrestling's four individual state champions joining the podcast. Exciting to have those guys on. We got Jackson, Blum, and Jarrett Smith. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, of course. So I'll start with Jarrett, and I was reading the articles before the state finals and everything like that, and a lot of people were talking about, right before the finals match, how you had to face, your teammate, Cole.
Yeah.
Take me through kind of that process, how did you guys go about it? And I know you guys watched some of the other finals matches together. You're in the same hotel room, so you guys are pretty close, right?
Yeah, we didn't really change anything much until, probably about 45 minutes before the finals. We kind of split up. We just both went our separate ways. Didn't say much to each other after that, but yeah, we same hotel room. We were talking the whole time, ate breakfast together, all that stuff. It didn't change much until right before the match, and then we wrestled, and then we were separate for about 30 minutes after the match, and then went and watched Carter win, so that was really good.
And have you guys talked after? I know he was upset, initially afterwards, but he seemed to bounce back pretty quickly.
Yeah, I just talked to him right before I came in here, so.
Yeah, we were hoping to have Carter and Owen on, but they had other obligations and couldn't make it. So Jackson, I'll go over to you, and I just got this question. So I'm watching your finals match, and you're just about to tech fall the other kid, who was undefeated, by the way. He was very good, and then you go out and pin him. And I was thinking to myself internally, do you think you could have ended the match quicker?
I was kind of trying to end the match a little bit quicker, even though it's, third period tech or whatever. But no, I think I probably could have done some stuff a little bit better in the match. But it's state finals, and you kind of get a little bit nervous before, no matter who you're wrestling and stuff. So the match just goes on, and you score when you can. And so yeah, to answer your question, I think I probably could have ended it a little bit sooner if I was doing everything perfect. But I was happy with how the match went, and I was glad I was able to get a pin in the state finals. I don't know, I'd rather have a pin than a tech, honestly.
Right.
So I was looking for that pin, looking for that fall, but it just wasn't there until third period.
So your finals opponent, he wrestled your teammate, Logan Dawson, earlier in the tournament. Were you able to watch that match, get a feel for things, or not really?
Yeah. So I was able to end my semifinals match somewhat quick, and then I was able to watch him wrestle probably the last period and a half of it, and able to see kind of what he was doing and stuff like that, and it kind of gave me a good perspective of what I was going to be going into that match, because Logan's a good wrestler, and he was getting certain things on him that I knew I could probably get as well, and I was able to just kind of see his, what re-attacks he was doing, what kind of stuff he liked to do in the match, and I watched some film as well before my finals match, so I was pretty well prepared going into it.
And Jarrett, over to you. You finished third last year, right?
Yeah.
What did you take from your one loss last year in the state tournament, and how are you able to bring that over this year and turn it into a first-place finish?
I think just remembering how it felt to lose in the semis was a big motivating factor for me this year. It was probably one of the hardest moments in my wrestling career to know I couldn't become a four-time individual state champ. And just using that as motivation for my sophomore season to come back stronger and get the job done this year.
So over the summer, you were Fargo champ. What's the difference between that tournament and a tournament like the Michigan State tournament?
The main difference is freestyle and folk style and Greco-Roman are all different. So Fargo's freestyle Greco, which is just a different style of wrestling. And then Fargo, it's a lot. The Michigan State tournament, I'd say another big thing is the weight classes. There's 14 weights for high school, and Fargo, I think there's around that too. But there's multiple weigh-ins for Fargo, and that's a big part of it. And also just the environment. You're there for 8 days, wrestling 1 or 2 matches a day if you're on the winning side of the bracket. So it's a lot different. It's a longer tournament, and MHSA, you go one weigh-in, wrestle 2 days, 4 matches overall. So it's a big change, big different environment.
Yeah, you're at the bottom end of the weight class spectrum. Is it hard to keep your weight down or not really?
No, not really. Not for the state tournament. I was not cutting very hard.
Jackson, I'll go over to you. You seem to, you're pretty dominant in your weight class. Is it as easy as you make it look, or is it a lot harder than you might think?
I mean, so I'll actually go back to what you were talking about with Jarrett and Fargo and stuff like that. So going to tournaments like that, it's kind of you're in a lot of high pressure situations, stuff like that, and it almost, then you go to the state tournament and, the environment, it's just different, and it almost doesn't seem like you don't make it as big of a deal as like the state tournament. You've been to big national tournaments, you're on the big stage in front of a lot of people, wrestling tough matches, and it just gives you confidence to know that, some of these kids, the state tournament isn't the toughest tournament that we wrestle, even though you're in season as well. We wrestle tournaments that we have tougher competition and stuff like that. So, I think it just gives a confidence factor to where that, I've been in matches like this before. I've been in tougher matches than this before, and now I just got to take care of business today against these guys. Then also, it might look easy, like wrestling these kids. It's a lot of work before, in practice, all that, just wrestling constantly at a high pace, trying to go as hard as you can all the time. So then once you get into the match, if you can just wrestle like you do in practice and stuff, it makes it look easy, but that's just how you wrestle every day and how you train, so then it just comes naturally.
Yeah, and you were talking about kind of preparation and some of those out-of-state tournaments that you guys do earlier in the year. You're wrestling guys like Marcus Blaze. That certainly helps prepare you for the state tournament. And you're the two wrestlers on the team that have both either been in or currently in the national rankings. Do you guys pay any attention to that at all, or is that just something that you completely zone out of?
I've looked at them a couple of times. I like to see who I can beat that's in there more than who or where I'm at. Like, there was Fort Crown Point, there's a Dundee kid in there that I knew was going to be at the tournament, and then Fort Brecksville, there's a couple kids in there too. And I just think I like to see who's ahead of me and be able to try to kind of hunt them down and get my name up there.
Yeah. For me, I would say it's, I look at the rankings, kind of like what he was saying, more to see how much I can climb, who's ahead of me. And it's just kind of a good motivation factor to know, you're not at the top yet. You still have guys who are ahead of you, so you got to keep working and try to climb that ladder. But, in the end, rankings, they really don't matter. Anyone can win on any given day, and it's got to know that if you keep doing what you're doing, that you'll climb those spots one way or another.
Right, and we saw that, rankings give you a good idea of what could happen at the state tournament, but we saw some upsets. Braddock had a really big upset in the I believe it was the quarterfinals. And then off the mat, I'm curious, do you guys have relationships with wrestlers from particular schools that are really good in a way? Take me through some of your friends off the mat from different schools.
Yeah. So we train at MIGRTC. It's a club out of Grand Rapids, and there's a lot of good guys that go there, and so we get to see them more than we see some of our own teammates in the season and stuff. So we're good friends with a lot of guys. I know one in particular was Lane Button from Wayland. He won a state title, and he'd been working really hard all year for it. I'd been with him in the off season training, and so it's really cool to see some guys that you've been training with and they've been working hard come out on top. Just makes you excited and happy for them.
Yeah. To add to that a little bit, Team Michigan too is our freestyle team for the cadet and junior duels and just Fargo in general. You're on Team Michigan, but that's a big, they do some freestyle camps, Greco camps, and there's guys from everywhere. They're all the top schools, DCC, Dundee, Hudson, and the community grows. Everyone that's wrestling around the state of Michigan you're familiar with. You've talked to them. You've been at practices with them.
So Jackson, you and Owen seem pretty close off the mat. And he was people didn't know, but he was pretty under the weather during that tournament. How do you think he kind of overcame that?
I think he just knew that, sick or not, that he was going to be able to, if he wrestled well, that he was going to be able to come out on top. I would wake up both mornings and hear him coughing pretty hard in the bathroom and stuff, so you knew that it was something that was affecting him a little bit. But just, I don't know, when you're wrestling, you get your adrenaline going, and, you might feel sick or something like that, but in the end you can't feel sorry for yourself or use that as an excuse. You got to know that still got to get the job done no matter what. You got to go out there and wrestle, and your opponent, they're not going to be feeling sorry for you. They don't care if you're sick or injured or whatever it is. So but seeing him having that mental toughness and be able to pull out that win, it was cool, because I know that he was definitely a little bit more tired than he would have been, because he was feeling under the weather, but he was able to get the job done.
No, yeah. So I'm at Matt's side, and when I watched him win the state title, he didn't do any celebrating. He didn't do anything like that. Is that more he was sick, or is that just who he is?
I would say that's just more of the type of guy he is. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, and really any of his matches. He's pretty. It's almost like a robot to me in his matches. He just, win or lose, he keeps a straight face. It's different from me. I like to show, like, if I win, I don't mind doing a celebration or something.
You
like
did
that.
3 celebrations.
Yeah, 3 celebrations, but that's just not the type of guy he is. And I was honestly surprised. I was thinking I would see at least one little celebration, because I know that after the loss that he took last year, it was a state title was on his mind, and but I think I did more celebrations off the mat than he did on the mat after he won. So.
Yeah, speaking of celebrations, did you guys know what Carter was going to do celebrating?
Oh yeah, the morning we practiced at about 10 and wrestled the finals at 3:30, and Carter at the morning practice went up to RJ and whispered something. I'm like, what are you talking to RJ about? He's like, if I win, I'm going to do a shoey. So, I think it was very minimal. There's a very minimal amount of people that knew, but yeah, I was really hoping he won, not just for that.
Wow. And so where does that celebration come from? I haven't looked it up. I have no idea.
To be honest, I don't really know where it came from. Oh, I think
Cam Catcherbone, right?
Yeah, there's a wrestler out of New York, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He did it in his state finals last year, I believe. But I know there's a UFC fighter, and he did a shoey with the Noak boys after he won his UFC fight. So I think that's kind of where it started. I don't know. It was a pretty funny celebration to watch.
Yeah, no, and for those people who weren't there and who didn't see the picture, a shoey is when you pour some water into your shoe and basically take a shot of it. So, but no, that was a great way to end the entire tournament for Lowell, because I felt like, as far as the crowd, I'm not going to say our crowd was tame during the first 3 matches, but, there was certainly a lot of, build-up and emotion for Carter's match, because, he had gone to the state finals twice, and he had lost twice. And so, I was kind of feeling it, too. I'm like, definitely, really want Carter to win this one, just because he deserves it. And now, is that just how Carter wrestles, though? The last 3 matches, he won by a single point. Is that how he wrestles, or is that just how it kind of played out?
Yeah, that's just kind of, he keeps matches close sometimes. He just has confidence to know that he's going to be able to win like that sometimes. And, personally, I think that, his matches were close. I think he could have won by more in some of his matches, but he just he was really hoping to get that state title. Because, like you said, he lost the previous 2 years, and I imagine it was probably heavy on his mind that he really wanted to get that, and so just getting a win for him, even if it's winning by 1 or 10 points, just knowing that he's moving on, and that goal, that end goal's a little bit closer. I think that had something to do with it. So.
Well, and I pointed out in my articles, winning the regional really helped them because it got them the number 1 overall seed. The 2 and the 3 were on the opposite sides, and actually 2 through 5 were all really good. Like, you could have interchanged probably a lot of them. So, but no, that helped him, get to the finals, and then he's in the finals against the number 5 kid who, again, very, very good, and he was able to ride him out, come out with a win. So last couple of questions for you guys. Like, as we enter kind of, the high school season's done. What's next for you guys? Like, Jarrett, are you golfing this year? What's up for you? What's next for you guys?
Yeah, I'm gonna golf again this year, till about the end of school, and then just right now, actually, or next week, I think, starting freestyle and Greco, getting ready to go for Fargo. Just getting ready to go for the summer. Keep building, transition into new styles, and just keep training, keep getting better.
Yeah. I've been thinking about joining the golf team. So I
you should.
Yeah.
I'm a golf alum too.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it quite a bit. So I actually need to figure that out here. It's because it's season starting soon, but yeah, I think I'll do that, and then I'll also be training freestyle and stuff. We have some tournaments that we do before the summertime starts, but just getting back into the freestyle season, training and stuff. Got to get ready for Fargo, like he said. But yeah, the freestyle season, it's a long season. It's a couple months longer than our folk style even. So just kind of easing into it for me is what I like to do. Don't rush into anything. I'll take a couple weeks off. I'll probably take next week off as well. But just kind of figuring out where I'll be training here soon, and I don't know. That's pretty much it.
And then, so last question: summarize this year for not just you guys as individuals, because obviously, you both hit your goals, but the team as well. Like, what was this year like with the team?
I'd say it was a lot different than last year. We went from having 14, our biggest senior class ever, 14 seniors, to 5 seniors, which, it's a big difference in leadership, and we had a lot of guys step up and make it better for those younger guys, those incoming freshmen and those new wrestlers. But I say we had a lot of fun this year. We had a lot of success. I had a kind of disappointing state tournament last year. Lost a lot of finals. Just didn't perform very well. When we came back, we placed everyone that went there. 4 champs, which ties the Lowell record. It felt good. Kind of felt like a redemption at individual states.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, I would say this season was quite a bit different than last season. It just felt like the team was closer. We always try to have a family environment in the practice room and stuff like that. And, just some stuff happened last year that, it almost threw off the chemistry a little bit of the team. But, coming into this year, we really wanted to, emphasize, making everyone feel good about themselves every day. All trying to just, have fun while we're getting better and stuff like that. And I think we really did that going into the state tournament. All of our guys were just feeling positive about where they were at with their wrestling. And I think we might have exceeded, some of our expectations going into it. Like, Casey Engel took 3rd place after not even getting sent to the state tournament last year. And that Braddock King not going, placing pretty high. And I think that was just, they were when we're in practice, we're all just having fun and we're all just enjoying being there. And that makes it really easy to just, to just kind of let it fly in your matches and know that, we've done everything right leading up to this point, and now we can just go and, kind of be free in our matches to just wrestle to our best ability.
Yeah, no, it was a tremendous year. 12 state qualifiers, and then all of those guys placed, and then 4 state champions, like you said. And all 4 weight classes that we had wrestlers, in the finals we won. And I mean, there are very few schools who can say that. But all right, well, thank you guys for coming on. I will see you guys next weekend at the banquet, and actually probably tonight at the girls basketball district finals.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks again for having us on.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
We'll
of
see you
course.
there.